Number 10. Asuka loses a tooth. On a February 2021 episode of Monday Night Raw, Asuka participated in a tag team match alongside Charlotte Flair, facing off against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. At one point in the match, Asuka had Nia locked into an armbar when Shayna Baszler entered the ring to break up the hold, pump kicking Asuka right in the face with some force, which resulted in accidentally knocking out one of Asuka's front teeth. Asuka could be seen visibly hurt, with the referee having to check on her, as she kept hold of her mouth even after the match, eventually having to get tooth surgery to correct the injury. Number 9. Becky Lynch busted face. In what might be the defining moment in Becky Lynch's The Man character in 2018, Lynch was set to face off against Ronda Rousey at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. However, during the build-up to the show on an episode of Raw, the women's teams from both Raw and SmackDown brawled all around the ring, with both Lynch and Rousey both getting involved. However, as Lynch went after Nia Jax, Nia would throw a wild swing, hitting Lynch directly in the face, resulting in a broken nose and concussion. As the brawl died down, the SmackDown crew would exit through the crowd, with Lynch calling out Team Raw from the top of the stands with her face covered in blood. Many would then begin to associate this with the Stone Cold Steve Austin infamous Crimson Mask back at WrestleMania 13, further catapulting Lynch into superstardom. Number 8. Liv Morgan gets knocked out. In 2018, Liv Morgan, as part of the Riot Squad, teamed up to face off against the Bella Twins and Natalya on Monday Night Raw. As everything seemed to be going to plan, Brie Bella started to deliver a series of yes kicks to Liv Morgan. However, one kick went wrong and hit Liv directly in the face, briefly knocking her out. Brie could be seen checking on Liv as the pair tried to continue the match. Liv would then instantly fall back down as she tried to stand up, not being able to hold her own weight. Luckily, the Riot Squad would then quickly tag her out, and the match would continue for another 7 minutes after this, with Liv being able to participate in a triple suplex spot before being taken backstage. Later on, Brie Bella would face backlash from fans online as she'd go on to tweet that every match on Raw is an opportunity to entertain our fans. Our intentions as WWE superstars is to always win the match, never to hurt our opponents. Thinking about Liv Morgan. Number 7. Beth Phoenix broken jaw. During her Raw singles debut match in 2006, Beth Phoenix would face off against Victoria. The pair had planned to open up the match by delivering a slap to each other. However, as Victoria slapped Beth, something was instantly wrong, as Beth would begin to clutch at her face. Beth would then manage to continue and finish the match, even picking up the win, but could be seen with blood pouring from her mouth. It was later discovered backstage that Beth had left her mouth slightly open during the slap, resulting in a broken jaw which needed plates and screws inserted to help fix her jaw. Beth would recover from this devastating injury, however she was sent back down to developmental, having to work her way back up to the main roster. Number 6. Trish Stratus dislocated shoulder. At Backlash 2006, Mickie James and Trish Stratus would face off for the Women's Championship during their heated feud. The pair had already put on a classic at WrestleMania 22 a month prior, and things looked to be the same coming into this matchup. As the pair would battle on, Trish would go on to try and deliver a few punches to Mickie in the corner of the ring. However, as Mickie countered Trish, throwing her over the top rope, Trish would land awkwardly onto her arm, instantly dislocating her shoulder in the process. Trish could be seen visibly in pain from the injury, and even though she was able to get back into the ring, she was unable to do anything, resulting in the match finish having to be called on the fly, with Mickie getting disqualified for choking Trish. WWE doctors would later confirm backstage that they had managed to put Trish's shoulder back into place, although it had swelled up considerably. Trish would be put onto the sidelines for 6 weeks following this incident, but continued to appear on television in a non-wrestling role, eventually returning in June of 2006 to finish her rivalry with Mickie James. Number 5. Ashley Massaro's broken leg. Again during 2006, during a Divas Battle Royale to crown a new number 1 contender for the Women's Championship, Ashley Massaro would unfortunately suffer a spiral fracture of the left fibula after being thrown over the top rope by Candice Michelle and landing awkwardly on her ankle with some force. Ashley could be seen in great pain afterwards, having to be taken out on a stretcher as she was unable to walk. Luckily, surgery wasn't required, however Ashley was in a leg cast for several weeks afterwards. As rumours had it, Ashley was originally meant to be involved in the WrestleMania 22 matchup between Trish Stratus and Mickie James, but this injury changed that. Ashley did show up on TV a few weeks afterwards to work a segment with Mickie and Trish, but she wouldn't go on to appear at WrestleMania. Number 4. Paige's neck. At a WWE live event house show in December of 2017, Paige participated in a 6-woman tag team match. During the bout, Sasha Banks caught the 2-time Divas champion with a strong kick to the back of the head, which resulted in a whiplash injury for Paige and re-injured her neck. Sadly, this injury would put an end to Paige's in-ring wrestling career at the young age of 25. Paige would then go on record to say nothing was ever Sasha's fault. Paige would also go on to state that she'd begun to lose feeling in her arms and legs, and as she went to try and stand up to carry on the match, she was unable to do so and fell right back down to the mat. Instantly, Paige thought that she was becoming paralysed. Doctors would later reveal backstage that Paige would have to retire full-time from the ring, but miraculously, 4 years later, Paige would go on to make a full recovery and debut in All Elite Wrestling as a full-time in-ring competitor using her real name, Saraya. Number 3. Naomi's fractured eye socket. During Naomi's match with Aksana on the February 3rd, 2014 edition of Monday Night Raw, fans saw the former Funkadactyl left reeling after taking a straight knee to the face from Aksana. As Naomi showed off her athletic abilities during the match, she went on to perform a sunset flip on Aksana, who would reverse the move by dropping her knee right into Naomi's face. Naomi would immediately grab at her eye and would manage to go on and finish the match, but she would later go on to say that she actually felt her eye socket crack. It was later revealed that she had not only fractured her eye socket but also suffered a scratched cornea. Thankfully, Naomi would go on to make a full recovery, and a few months later she was back in action. Number 2. Candice Michelle's broken collarbone. Candice Michelle is a Diva Search contestant and a former WWE Women's Champion in the late 2000s. However, she would have to end her career prematurely when she cracked her collarbone during a match with Beth Phoenix. During the match, Candice had climbed up to the top rope. However, as Beth shook the ropes to counter Candice's attack, with the force of the rope shaking, she would lose her footing and crash headfirst down directly onto the mat. The match would be called off straight away, as Candice would be legitimately knocked out. Candice would later go on record to state, "My legs felt like cement and my arms had started to shake. Next thing I remember is barely being able to see Stephanie McMahon leaning over me saying, 'Don't worry, your husband is being flown in.' I knew this was real, as they never fly your husband in. The diagnosis that night was a concussion and that I shattered my collarbone, and that also shattered my dreams of ever wrestling again." Unfortunately, this injury would be the end of Candice's wrestling career, as she was released by the WWE in 2009 while still recovering from her injury. Number 1. Lita's broken neck. Whilst Lita has had her fair share of injuries inside the ring, her worst one actually came outside of wrestling. In 2002, Lita featured on a TV show named Dark Angel, and during one of the combat scenes where she would perform her own stunts alongside a stunt woman, Lita was accidentally dropped onto her head, cracking her neck in the process, and she still somehow managed to finish the filming schedule. Lita was due for a big push in the WWE at the time, and she sadly had to take a full year out of wrestling altogether to recover from her injury. This would also contribute to Lita's full-time retirement in 2006, where she would go on to form the punk rock band, the Luchagors. Lita to this day continues to make occasional appearances within the WWE, such as participating in the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match, and even going one-on-one with the likes of Becky Lynch, and making history as being the first woman to have been featured on a WWE billboard in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more wrestling content.